You've been asking for signs, haven't you? You've been praying with that deep ache in your chest, saying, God, if this person is really the one you meant for me, show me again. And what's beautiful, yet heartbreaking, is that he already has. He's confirmed it over and over, not always in the way you expected, but in quiet ways only your spirit could recognize. The timing of their messages, the way your heart softens when you try to walk away, the sudden peace that comes after praying for clarity. These aren't coincidences, they're confirmations, and deep down you know it. You just doubt it, because it hurts to believe in something that doesn't look certain yet. You've told yourself you might be imagining it. You've tried to shut it off, to silence the hope, to convince yourself that maybe it's all in your head. But every time you do, something happens. A dream, a memory, a word, a song, and it stirs everything up again. That's not obsession. That's not delusion. That's divine persistence. Because when God is writing a story, He doesn't let His chosen ones forget the person who carries purpose in their life. You feel this so strongly because it's not just emotion. It's spiritual resonance. It's two souls still connected by a covenant heaven hasn't lifted yet. You've prayed for signs, and God gave them. But because they weren't loud or dramatic, you dismissed them. You wanted thunder. He sent whispers. You wanted a text from them. He sent peace in your heart. You wanted to see movement. He gave you stillness. You see, God doesn't always confirm through visible evidence. Sometimes His confirmation is found in the fact that the connection refuses to die no matter how much distance exists. Sometimes it's the way their name still stirs something sacred instead of bitter. Sometimes it's the way your soul calms instead of panics when you think of them. That peace, that's His voice saying it's still them. But here's the truth you need to understand. Confirmation doesn't always mean immediacy. God can confirm something long before He completes it. He'll tell you, yes, this is the one, and then send you into a season of silence to test your faith. Because divine confirmation isn't meant to satisfy curiosity. It's meant to prepare you for commitment. It's not meant to keep you comfortable. It's meant to keep you grounded while the promise matures. You've received confirmation, yes. But now He's waiting to see if you'll trust His timing as much as His word. That's why it feels confusing. That's why you keep oscillating between certainty and doubt. Because you're trying to match God's confirmation to human logic. But this story isn't linear. It's spiritual. And spiritual timing doesn't bow to earthly clocks. You want it to happen now because your heart is tired. But God says, if I gave it to you now, you'd mishandle it. Let me finish what I'm fixing first. So while you're overanalyzing, God is organizing. While you're questioning, He's confirming again, just in quieter ways. You haven't lost your signs. You've just stopped recognizing them because they became subtle as your faith matured. And maybe part of you doesn't want to believe anymore because it hurts less to assume it's over than to hope and be disappointed. But here, this pain doesn't cancel divine purpose. Silence doesn't erase God's script. The very fact that you can't detach, no matter how much you've tried, is proof that heaven hasn't released this connection. You've asked for confirmation and received it. But now He's saying, will you trust me even when you can't trace me? Will you hold on to what I've shown you even when it feels impossible? That's not weakness. That's faith at its purest form. You might not realize this, but every time you try to forget them and something reminds you out of nowhere, that's not coincidence. That's divine alignment. God doesn't waste reminders. Every thought, every moment of déjà vu, every scene that replays in your dreams, they're all markers along a spiritual path meant to keep your heart in sync with His plan. You didn't imagine this person's importance. You discerned it. You saw something eternal in them long before it made sense. And that's why it's been confirmed repeatedly. Because you were meant to know before you could see. But remember this, God's confirmations are not meant to turn you into a pursuer. They're meant to turn you into a believer. He didn't confirm this person so you could chase them. He confirmed them so you could wait in faith. Because if you chase them now, you'll interrupt what God is trying to perfect in them. You're not meant to play savior. You're meant to stand still while the Savior works. And that's why every time you've tried to step in, the peace leaves. Every time you've tried to let go too early, the peace leaves. Because peace only sits where obedience resides. You've asked God, why do you keep showing me signs if nothing's happening? But something is happening, just not in the realm you can see. You're not waiting for a text. You're waiting for transformation. You're not waiting for them to notice you again. You're waiting for them to notice God. Because when they finally do, they'll see you through different eyes. Not as someone from their past, but as someone who carries their future. That's why he keeps confirming. He's saying, don't lose sight of what I'm building just because it's invisible right now. And maybe you've wondered why he confirms this person when there are others who seem easier, more available, more logical. Because divine connections aren't built on convenience. They're built on calling. There's something this specific person carries that's tied to your growth, your healing, your destiny. That's why he keeps bringing them back to your spirit. Not to torment you, but to teach you. Not to distract you, but to develop you. You're not bound, you're being refined. The reason he keeps confirming this person is because they're not random. They're a key part of your purpose, even if the door hasn't opened yet. You've noticed how every time you finally start to move on, something unexpected pulls you back. Maybe a song plays out of nowhere, the same one that once defined your connection. Maybe someone mentions their name when you hadn't spoken it for months. Or perhaps you stumble across an old message that feels like it was sent yesterday. These aren't accidents. They're divine breadcrumbs, gentle reminders from heaven that this chapter hasn't closed, it's just on pause. When God confirms someone, he allows these echoes to remain, not to keep you stuck in the past, but to remind you that what's meant for you hasn't finished its story yet. There's a reason your spirit recognizes them in ways your mind can't explain. You see, logic analyzes, but the soul remembers. You met them and something inside of you whispered, this matters. Even when it didn't make sense. Even when it defied timing. Even when you tried to rationalize it away, you couldn't. Because some connections aren't seasonal, they're eternal. You don't choose them, heaven assigns them. And when God confirms someone like that, he imprints it deep within your spirit, so that even in the dark you can still sense their light. Still, I know the battle between belief and doubt is real. One moment you feel certain, the next you question everything. You ask for another sign, and he gives it. But the silence that follows makes you doubt again. That's because confirmation without patience creates confusion. God's signs aren't meant to feed your fear. They're meant to calm it. The signs were never the destination. They were just reminders along the road. The real confirmation isn't in the external signs anymore. It's in the peace that remains when you stop seeking them. When you receive a true confirmation from God, it brings stillness, not anxiety. It doesn't rush you. It roots you. It doesn't demand you act, it tells you to trust. That's how you know it's from him. The counterfeit makes you panic, but the authentic makes you rest. That's what's happening to you now. He's moving you from the stage of seeking proof to the stage of embodying faith. You no longer need lightning bolts to believe. You've matured to the point where his still small voice is enough. Maybe that's why he's been quiet lately. Because you've already been told what you need to know. He's confirmed this person so many times that another sign won't change your faith. It will only feed your need for control. So now he's saying, you've seen enough. You've felt enough. Now trust me. Silence doesn't mean he's stopped speaking. It means he's finished repeating. And that's hard, isn't it? Because you grew dependent on signs to keep your hope alive. But now he's calling you to a higher faith. The kind that doesn't need reminders to remain sure. And here's the beauty of that transition. When you stop begging for signs, you start walking in certainty. You stop looking for proof, and you start becoming the proof. You carry peace differently. You speak differently. You no longer beg for confirmation because your heart already knows what God said. That confidence isn't arrogance. It's alignment. It's heaven's signature within your spirit saying, you're walking according to what I've shown. And when you walk in that truth, you attract divine timing faster than any prayer of desperation ever could. The truth is, confirmation is only the beginning. Transformation is the true destination. God didn't just confirm this person for you. He's also confirming you for them. While you've been wondering why they're distant, He's been shaping them quietly. The same way He shaped you. He's softening their heart, healing their wounds, clearing their vision. They may not understand what's happening inside them, but something keeps tugging them back toward you in spirit. The same way you're tugged toward them. Because divine confirmation works in both directions, it's mirrored, not one-sided. So if you feel them thinking about you, it's not your imagination. The spiritual bond between you isn't broken. It's being strengthened through distance. God is aligning both hearts to hear His voice instead of their fears. That's why every attempt you made to reconnect prematurely failed. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. He's saying, let me handle this. I'm confirming to them too, but they must recognize my voice, not yours. You don't have to remind them of your worth. God is doing that every time He brings your name into their mind without reason. You are not chasing someone who doesn't belong to you. You're standing in faith for something heaven already designed. But your assignment isn't to force it, it's to trust it. That's what separates divine patience from emotional waiting. You're not waiting helplessly, you're waiting intentionally, preparing yourself so that when the door opens, you're not the same person who once stood outside it in fear. You'll be whole, grounded, and grateful. Because God doesn't confirm someone for the version of you that's still healing. He confirms them for the version of you that's ready. And that readiness is almost here. You can feel it, can't you? That subtle shift in your spirit. That quiet assurance that something is turning. You've carried this knowing for so long that it stopped feeling like hope and started feeling like truth. That's what divine confirmation does. It moves you from believing something might happen to knowing it will. And soon, when the restoration begins to unfold, you won't be surprised. You'll recognize it instantly because you've already seen it in prayer, in dreams, in whispers. The confirmation wasn't for comfort. It was for recognition. So that when it arrives, your spirit will say, I knew it. God already told me.